In today's video, we'll be talking another important topic of biotechnology, that is tools of recombinant DNA technology. These are the tools that help us in getting the rDNA or the recombinant DNA. The first and foremost, which is important, are the enzymes. That is, we will talk about the restriction enzyme, the polymerases, the ligases. These are the various enzymes which are utilized in this particular technology. The second is the cloning vectors, the suitable vectors where the fragments of the DNA cloning will take place, and the host organism where they are utilized to produce the desired protein in large quantity or amount. So first let us begin with the restriction enzymes. The restriction enzymes are one of the most important genetic tools. They are used in genetic engineering. Now, restriction enzyme, when we talk, it is a protein which is produced by the bacteria, and that helps in cleaving or breaking the DNA at specific sites along the molecules. Now we know that in a bacterial cell, the restriction enzymes cleave the foreign DNA also, and they help in eliminating the infecting organisms. So bacterial cell has these enzymes which identifies or recognize the foreign DNA and cut it into fragments. And these restriction enzymes can be easily isolated from the bacterial cell and can be then used in the laboratory to manipulate fragments of DNA, and are therefore indispensable tools of recombinant DNA technology. So we use restriction enzyme extensively in the recombinant DNA technology. Now, a bacteria uses restriction enzyme to defend against the bacterial viruses or the bacteriophages. How it is doing? Now, when a phage enters the bacterium, it inserts its DNA into the bacterial cell. So what will happen? That is, a bacteria which gets infected by the viral DNA, this virus will inject its DNA into this bacterial cell, and if only this viral DNA multiplies, then it will give rise to multiple, or it will cause infection. Now what happens when a phage enters the bacterium? It injects or inserts its DNA into the bacterial cell so that it might be replicated. Now the restriction enzyme prevents the replication of this phage DNA by cutting it into many pieces. So what happens is, these restriction enzyme, when the DNA of this virus gets entered into this, it is cut down into pieces, and as a result it is not functional anymore, or it will not be able to replicate itself, thus preventing the infection. Now each restriction enzyme recognizes a short specific sequence of nucleotide. Now this restriction virus is site specific. Its action is site specific. That means it will cut the DNA at specific site or specific sequence of the nucleotides, and that site is known as recognition site. The site will be known as recognition site, or we also call it as recognition sequence, or it will be known as recognition sequence, because it is here the restriction enzyme will cut that DNA. And these sites are randomly distributed within the DNA. Now when a restriction endonuclease recognizes its sequence, it cuts the DNA molecule. How? It cuts it by catalyzing the hydrolysis between two adjacent nucleotides. So when two nucleotides are there, the restriction enzyme will first recognize the site, then it will catalyze hydrolysis, and this hydrolysis will cause the cleavage of the two nucleotides. So this is how it cuts the DNA into fragments. Now a question can be that these restriction enzymes cut the DNA at specific sequence. Now quite a possibility is that these restriction enzyme might as well cut the DNA of the bacteria itself, thereby destroying the bacteria also. So how does a bacteria prevents itself or its own DNA from being degraded in this manner or by the action of restriction enzyme? It does so, or the prevention is done with the help of a specialized system. That is, it modifies its recognition sequence. What do we mean by that? Recognition, as we said, restriction enzymes are site specific. That means they identify a particular nucleotide sequence and then only they cause hydrolysis, thus breaking up the sequence of thus breaking up the DNA fragment. Now the bacteria also has the DNA fragment with this recognition sequence. So how does it protect itself from the action of restriction enzyme? It does so by the action of enzymes called as methylases. This is another group of enzyme, and what do? They add methyl group. They add methyl group to one or more bases. That is either to adenine or cytosine bases within the recognition sequence. And as a result, the recognition site gets modified. It gets modified, and hence since it gets modified, the restriction enzymes will not be able to identify the recognition site because it has already been modified due to the addition of the methyl group, and thus restriction enzymes are inhibited, or they cannot break up the bacterial DNA into fragments. The restriction enzymes were first isolated by Stewart Lin. They were first isolated by Lin and Weber. These two scientists first identified or isolated the restriction enzymes in 1963. Now when we talk of the restriction enzymes, these restriction enzymes are basically of two types. These are of two types, and the restriction enzymes belong to a class of enzymes, that is nucleases. They belong to a group of enzymes, that is nucleases. Nucleases are those enzymes or those group of enzymes that cleaves the nucleic acids. So they are belonging to the nucleases group because these group of enzymes cleave the nucleic acid, that is DNA and the RNA. Now when we were talking, we classify them as of two types. The types are restriction enzyme exonuclease, and the other is restriction endonuclease. These are the two types of enzyme. When we talk of what is the difference between the two, when we talk of the restriction exonuclease, Exonuclease are a group of restriction enzyme which remove the nucleotide from the 5' to 3' end. The function, basic function is same. The action is the removal of the nucleotide, and the exonuclease, they remove the nucleotide from the 5' or 3' end of a single stranded DNA. So single stranded DNA, and they will remove the nucleotide sequence either from 5' or 3' end, and that is only single strand DNA of a double stranded DNA. That means out of the double stranded DNA, when we are talking, they are capable of removing only the one of the strands, from one of the strands, not both the strands. Coming to the endonucleases, these endonuclease enzymes are those enzymes that cut the double stranded DNA at any point. They will be cutting, like exonuclease is specific, that is either 5' or 3' end, and out of the double stranded DNA they will be able to cut only the one single stranded DNA. Endonuclease can cut at any point. They can cut at any point, and also they can cut double stranded DNA. So they will be cutting the double stranded DNA, and except the end. So they will not be cutting the nucleotide sequence at the end. Now these two enzymes, that is the exonuclease and endonucleases, are very important. Now endonuclease enzymes are further classified as type 1, type 2, type 3 and type 4. There are many types. Now when we talk of restriction endonuclease type 2, it recognizes specific sequence, and they are extensively used in genetic engineering. Now the restriction enzymes are also the naming of the restriction enzymes. When we talk, the restriction enzymes follow a definite rule for their nomenclature. So nomenclature, when we talk of the restriction enzyme, nomenclature. Now the restriction enzymes, when we are naming, because we find there are many restriction enzymes, like we'll be talking about EcoR1, then we have HIN D2. So we have different types of restriction enzymes. So how do we name them? The first thing is, the restriction enzymes are named according to the bacteria from which they are purified. Now the first letter of the first part comes from the genus, and the second two letters come from the species of the bacteria. So over here, when we talk of, let us take example as EcoR1. So E represents E, that is Escherichia. CO is the coli. So we take CO from here. Escherichia coli, that is CO from here. So the first letter will come from the genus, right? And that is ES. This is the genus, this is the species. So the second two letters will be from the species of the bacteria. Then the second part of the name, that is R over here, is the strain. That is, whether it is rough strain, that is the outer covering is rough, or whether it is smooth. So over here it is for the strain, rough strain over here, rough. That is type of strain we talk of. Which type of strain it is? and the last part is the Roman numeral. That is, over here it is the 1. So over here that means it corresponds to the order in which the enzyme is isolated from that strain of bacteria. Now when we talk for Eco R1, this is the first time. So we have the nomenclature in which the name is assigned to the restriction enzyme. Now when we talk of restriction type A and type 2, you have to differentiate. Now when we talk of restriction enzyme type 1, the enzyme has both the endonuclease activity as well as the methylase activity. That means it will be capable of adding methyl group also as well as cleaving the DNA. Whereas type 2 has restriction activity only. Eco R1 enzyme, this enzyme is very commonly used and it was isolated by Arbour, Smith and Nathan. Arbour, Smith and Nathan were the scientists who isolated Eco R1 in 1978. Now, HindD2 is another important restriction enzyme. It is the first restriction endonuclease and uses cofactor magnesium for its action. It was isolated from Haemophilus influenza. So Haemophilus, H-I-M, so when we talk of Haemophilus, H stands for Haemophilus, I-N for influenza, right? So, and D is the strain and it is type 2 and it cleaves the DNA palindromic sequence. It cuts at AAGCTT. This is the sequence where it cuts, that is the sequence of the nucleotide, and it was isolated in 1970. So this is the nomenclature of the restriction enzymes and how do we name these enzymes, and we have tried to get an idea of working of the restriction enzyme. In the next video, I am going to explain about the action of the restriction endonucleases enzymes or the molecular scissors.